Hello, welcome all from Baltic Fire Laboratory Gdańsk, Poland. We are the beautiful weather and we would like to show you something about the full-scale fire tests, what we are doing here, why we are ISO 17025 laboratory, high accredited by the main third-party bodies. So let's go inside and I will show you something which we have a special surprise for you. So welcome in our water mist theater, which we are trying to now say about this enclosure. We are almost in the 5,000 cubic meters enclosure, the world's largest enclosure built for the testing of the high pressure water mist system for the IMO 1165. It's a protection of the category A machinery space, a huge engine rooms for the cruise ships where you can spend your holiday. So we are trying with our customer, and we are proud to be involved in such projects to see how the water mist systems are working in such enclosure. This is not only for the IMO 1165, but we are going to do some research on the FM 5860 Appendix A and the F, which is the turbine enclosure, protection of the water mist, and the EN 14972 Part 8 and Part 14, which are very similar standards for the protection of such turbine enclosure and the machinery spaces. But the main aim of this invitation to our theater is a discussion with some prestigious people which was running such tests in the past years, like from the 30 years approximately. And I would like to invite you to Are, my colleague from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, which was working previously like the 30 years approximately in the full-scale fire tests, and there was a great discussion with Are when he arrived here to Gdańsk to discuss with us about what we are doing, and maybe there are the future cooperation with him and his students. So let's go and see what we discuss and to find some takeouts from this discussion. See you there. Welcome, Are, in Gdańsk Baltic Fire Laboratory. It's a pleasure that you take this invitation and you arrive here, because I think your work in the world of the water mist system and the full-scale fire test, it's really relevant. When I was working for the water mist manufacturer, I was reading your test reports, and it was a kind of a base for me to learn how to make these test reports. I was not sure that my life will change, and I will be author of such many test reports with the water mist system. And not only, because here in the Baltic Fire Laboratory we are testing not only the water mist system, but the sprinkler, clean agent, aerosol system now because of the market need. So it's great to have you here because you are the busy man as well on your university now, yep, responsible for the laboratory. So tell a few words about your way to understood the water mist system and the work with the water mist system, which is not the easy job, seems like.
No, I started working with water mist in the late 80s, actually. My father was a research scientist, so I spent some time at the laboratory assisting the technicians in the early 80s. And then in the 90s, after the Scandinavian Star and the ban on halon,
yes,
it started to get momentum, but it was a new sort of a new technology. So we had to start from scratch and develop the test standards.
Yep.
Started out with the maritime. After Scandinavian Star, it was a huge focus on extinguishing systems on
yes,
on vessels, and offshore industry was also
correct,
very keen on getting water mist.
yes.
So it was a lot of groundwork, testing how to create water
yes,
mist with the twin fluid nozzles, with rotating nozzles,
correct,
with
yeah,
all sort of different creative solutions.
Yes.
Some were good, some were let's say, more challenging.
Definitely, and I seen that the fire which unfortunately happened on the Scandinavian Star, it was a game changer, especially in the Scandinavia,
Yep.
to approach to the water mist system, and a few manufacturers are leading already there. The development of the standard, but when we are using in the industry this fire, which was a really tragic fire, but no any system will be prepared for such scale of the arson which was there, because the system anyhow is designed for the specific limits. And then the different reports are saying that there was 2-3 points of the ignition in the corridor, and there was some different story about the materials which was built for this vessel as well. So definitely the water mist system helped a lot to stop spread the fire. But during the discussion with the people, always you need to assume some limits that system is able to save. It's not a gold system that will save everything. So this is something like that.
I actually worked on Scandinavian Star as well.
Okay.
Because we did the testing afterwards, after the fire.
That's good.
So I've actually been involved in lighting Scandinavian Star on fire again.
Okay, that's good. And in your career, about all these tests which you perform, how you approach to the risk of this test? Because sometimes you are touching in the full-scale fire tests the things that no one touch on the world, and for sure you face this, we face this few times, and we trying to secure our tests as much as possible with the backup systems. But what is your experience with this base?
Well, I think one of the biggest dangers is that when you've done one test 50, 100 times, you start to relax.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
To always be prepared and always be alert when you do fire testing, because fire testing is dangerous.
Yeah.
If you do a small fire or a big fire, it's always a risk.
Yeah.
And to always stay alert, always have good routine on how to prepare before the test, observation during the test, and of course after the test, making sure that everything is done correctly. I think that's the main challenge, that you actually get bored or unfocused. That's when the accident happens.
So our space where we are is not incidental. We are in the 500 cubic meter enclosure, which is according to the IMO 1165. Very similar test method like the FM 560 Appendix A and F for the turbine enclosure. So we spent currently in this enclosure and this time kind of test more than 1,000, and it was exactly as you told in the first test when we seen a full ceiling in the fire with my colleague Christian, who is the professional fighter in the Gdańsk Fire Brigade. We killed this fire immediately. We terminate the test because it was the first time that we seen something like that. But after we realized that this water mist system is fighting with this fire, so after few 10, 100 tests, the approach to the same test is completely different. The confidence is completely different. So this is something which arriving with the experience. And we've seen this a lot. That's why we are quite specialized in the enclosure tests, because those tests are not easy, danger, but if you have enough backup system and all this risk analysis, you are able to succeed. And this is something that hopefully we are doing good. The team is growing, the Brandt is growing as well. But we are involved in the projects which bringing the value for the laboratory, but the value for our customers as well.
Yep.
So this is definitely something good. And yes, we had some tests which maybe in the future we will do better, but that's why we are learning constantly. And if I remember the test for the aircraft hangar, which we did, we have the few backup system to kill like the 14 megawatts fire, which was the 3 diameter pan with the 300 liter of the commercial jet A1 fuel. So it was a really challenging test, because you, from the safety reason, you was not able to just terminate this test. You was just waiting when the fuel will be burned out from the pan. but it bring with some lesson learned for the next fire test, which we should do as well better. That's why each bottleneck in the test we try to increase with the upgrade to the infrastructure, and this is working, I think, good here in this facility, because we have plenty of the projects. I have a small list of the topics here. So this was the discussion about the risk. And in your life, the most difficult test which you observe, what kind of type of the test it was for the full-scale fire tests, if we are discussing about the water mist system, for example?
Yeah. In the beginning, when everything was new and water mist was new, we tested a lot of different things. I've tested water mist in tunnels, on aircrafts, in turbines, in machinery spaces. So all tests has their difficulties.
Correct.
If you ask which test is most difficult to extinguish, I think the test that I've done most is flowing fire. But in complexity and scale, I think doing full-scale tunnel testing with water mist is the most difficult in sort of a total setup and complexity, because it's
exactly
far away and it's long distances, and it's there as well. When you lighted the fire, it burns.
Yeah, correct. So if I can add to this, what I found as well, that the easiest are the spray fires, because you can just switch off the pump and there is no fire. Then the second one, the pool fires, like the flowing fire, because then you need to deal with the pool fire, which is below the engine, above the engine, which is not nice. And the third one are the Euro pallets and this Class A fires, like I was in Spain in the TSTA Plus 2 times last year, and it was a really challenging fire, because you have 600 pallets which are in the constant fire. So it was not easy just to manage this fire, but great experience. When we are testing here the IMO 1430 for the 5 meter, which we are simulating the track with the 112 pallets, the potential fire is 40 megawatts, but with the constant wetting of the water mist system or the sprinkler system, we are much more less. But for this facility, we had the situation that we was forced just to stop the test because of the danger, because of the temperatures which rise during the test, because each experiment has a plenty of the thermocouples. So we are observing what is happening. So if you have here in this laboratory the IMO 1430, the visibility after 5 minutes is 0. So we must know how to kill this fire with the firefighters. So luckily we have the great 3 firefighters from the Gdańsk Fire Brigade, which are helping us with all this worst fire case, but then all the technicians which are here are well trained in the smoke chamber and so on. So there is no problem that some of them has any panic in case of the fire. But this kind of tests with the Euro pallets require a lot of preparation to kill the fire. So this is something really important. And to run this kind of laboratory is important to have the good accreditation as well. So what is your opinion about this test for the water mist system, which are done by the accredited laboratories and the not accredited laboratories? How it looks, in your opinion, if the manufacturers are running some tests with their own facilities, and after arriving to the laboratories, how is your generic approach to the ISO 17025?
In general, I support that people do their own testing in advance.
Yes, exactly. It's smart way.
Yeah, it's because it's very costly. It's expensive to do tests in accredited labs.
Correct.
So to do your preparation and do your optimization, and then sort of making sure that you believe in your system in advance is a good thing. But trying to use those results to get approval or selling your system based on your own test in your own garage or facilities. That is not okay.
Yeah, fully agree with this because I try to be quite open with my customers and just trying to explain them why it's so expensive. Because when you have this beautiful ILA camera signature on your test reports, you have the open doors for your system worldwide. It's not just the witness tests by one certification body and then you are just limited to the sum of the area. So this is the big game changer where you have the accreditation as a laboratory and you are running the test because you can help your customers as well. So for me always the success of the customer is a success of the laboratory as well, because we tried to help the customers only in these limits as the test methods are allow us. Yeah. So if the customer is arriving here, he must to deal with the system properties, and we are dealing with all the infrastructure of the lab. So this is something that we found that is quite important. And the limits for the water mist system, if we are discussing about the water mist system, in my eyes always it was the special hazard systems, but widely when the standards arrive for the normal occupancies like the hotels, very similar like the sprinklers, these systems in the technical building specification where appear, this start to be much more recognized on the market. Previously, before 2021, when the 14972 was not available, there was some difficulties to implement those systems. But now we've seen a big shift with the trust to the water mist system, which is not new technology. It's a technology that you just must to test in the accredited lab, not only performance test, but the component test, and then maintenance the system. And the system is really, really nice if you just allow the system to be installed according to the DOM of the manufacturer. So what is your approach about this? What is the message to the new manufacturers, for example, which try to develop their systems and make the things right?
As we discussed earlier, that water mist is not the solution for everything.
Yep.
To be honest about what the system is capable of doing.
Correct.
As you mentioned, for hotels, for smaller spaces, for technical rooms, and all of those, I think water mist is perfect. But with the small droplets and the sort of the generic way of how water mist is working.
Correct.
There are limits with ceiling heights, with room sizes, with ventilation, use outdoor. It can be used, but it has to be used correctly.
Definitely.
So that there are limitations, and it's not the best tool for everything.
Correct.
But it's a really good tool for a lot of things.
Exactly, and that's why there is the laboratory that you should test for the specific limits, the water mist, and do not cross these limits, because then you are in the really gray area that you are not able to justify or even estimate what may happen. Yep. And we've seen small factors which count a lot during the performance tests. And especially now we are living in very important times, which is a part of my area of the interest. It means the car park fires, the standard, the combustion engines, and the EVs. Yep. There is a lot of developments now. The NFPA is doing the great project now. Luckily, I am part of the technical panel there, so I cannot say too much because it's too early. But it's going in the good way. We have on our facility more than 50 cars now, and we will run a lot of this car park fire tests according to especially 14972 part 5, which including the sprinkler test and the water mist test. When I presented this to the sprinkler colleagues, that you have already the data in the water mist tests from the sprinkler test, why you are not trying to use this data, They was really surprised. They trying to get more insight of this topic, because the sprinkler system are working very good, but the different, like the water mists. And I think it's really beneficial for the sprinkler and the water mist industry that the more data from the test is a much more reliable system as well. So we see now with the EV cars that there are the systems which are such great that able to extinguish the car. But even when you are testing the combustion engine, on the level of the laboratory, we are not going to extinguish this fire, because we just must to focus on avoid the spread of the fire. So to extinguish the EV car is no sense as well, in my point of view, because we will run this test soon in the second part of the year with the EV cars. So I'm really struggling on the market with this information in the television, and if we should, as a laboratory, take a voice and say that we are not going to extinguish the car, we are going just to suppress the fire and stop the propagation. What is your approach to this very dynamic times with the EV car now?
In general, I think that EV cars is not more dangerous than other cars. Mm-hmm. They are different, as you say.
Correct.
In some ways, they are better because you have a more localized fire.
Yes.
In a petrol car, you can have a rupture of the gas tank.
Correct.
And you have spillage. And if you look at the car park fire in Liverpool,
yes.
Kings Bay, where
yep.
1,300 cars or something burned.
Correct.
The tank ruptured and the spill went under all the other cars.
Correct.
and ignited those.
Yeah.
So that's the danger with more traditional cars. With EV cars, they are perhaps more difficult to extinguish if the fire is in the battery.
Yeah.
But if the fire is in the brakes or in the electrical system elsewhere,
yes.
It's just a normal car fire.
Correct, and I can add you that I last week I was in the IMO London for the session of the fire protection on the marine, and there was some example of these systems already used on the Ro-Ro vessels, on the PCC carriers and the PCT. And the big problem there was that when the fire occurred and the system, if is installed or not, the problem was that the fire just penetrated the decks above. So if you have now the system which can protect the car from the top, like the water-based system, which is the best, if it's water mist, or if it's sprinkler, it's system which is on the ceiling. Yep. So the fire will stop on the ceiling. But we've seen a lot of systems which are focusing only on the battery pack, where the physics are that the fire anyhow grow to the top, and when you have the fire in the compartment of the car, it's already the big fire, real big fire. And I was invited to some tests with the EV cars already. And even if you had the fire in the compartment where the EV car was ignited in the compartment of the car, the battery fire was not ignited. So the new electrical cars are such armed with the battery for such accidents. And I think that the future is in the battery safety itself, not exactly in the active fire protection system. Okay, this is important, but the cars EV cars which was built 5 years ago and now, completely different cars in terms of the battery safety. So I think this is the future, first of all.
And we had a huge fire in Norway as well.
Yeah.
At Sola airport. And from what I understand, there were electrical cars parked there.
Yeah.
None of the batteries were involved in the fire.
Yeah.
The cars burnt, but none of the batteries were involved.
Yeah,
so,
it's good example.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. I seen the similar stories, but very sad story for us as Gdańsk, where we are in the area of the Gdańsk. Like 1 month ago, we had a big fire in the old rail station, which was adopted for some storage of the things, and a very teeny part of this storage was the electrical bicycles for the city. And I had, as I mentioned, the firefighters hired in the laboratory. So few of them was already in this fire, and they already thought that the problem was with the building, which was the heritage. There was the ceiling, which was with the wooden, so it was difficult to enter inside and try to suppress this fire. But in the television, all used the pictures from these bicycles, that the bicycles with the Lion batteries was a problem. So we know here, we are Polish and we are here in the Gdańsk, the battery was not problem in this fire. But there was so many, fire influencers that used this, that the Lion batteries completely burned out this storage. And the one of the colleague, the Grunde Jomas, best regards to Grunde, alerting me immediately what's happening in the Gdańsk. So I had the fresh info from my firefighters that yes, there was the bicycles, there was the electrical bicycles, but there was not problem at all with those to extinguish. And the problem was the different one, but the scale of overuse this word, the Lion batteries, was so huge that all the words start to wrote about the Gdańsk that because of the Lion batteries we burned completely the rail station, the historical one. So it's really unfair to read this kind of things and to understood what exactly happened. I think it's really danger.
I think that the last report I wrote before I left RISE was on charging electrical cars in car parks. And I did some research, what if I could find any examples of cars that have ignited during charging, except from the more powerful charging stations with cars just charging on normal, slow charging. And all I could find was huge newspaper clippings from EV cars burning.
Exactly.
But it's not representative from what's in real life, because they are burning cars every day. And no one is mentioning that in the newspapers. But as soon as an EV car burns, it's on the front page.
Correct.
So to take your information from the media, they go for sensation, and they want to. They have an agenda of selling papers and making big stories. So the media is not representative on the hazard.
Yes, but what I see has a huge power as well. As providing this information to the rest part of the world. And I had a good conversation with my colleague Wojtek Węgrzyński about this Roro fire, which was in the Netherlands, when seems like the people, after the smoke of this Roro in the fire, already indicate that there is a EV car, because the smoke is in this kind of color, which was crazy. On the end, there was a zero EV car involved in this fire, but there was some different problems about the system which are installed there. But this is under IMO now discussion. What kind of action should be done on the marine? And now we are arriving to the point that in my opinion, the marine systems for the fire protection are much more restrictive and serious comparing to the land system, especially for the water mists. You need to service those systems, because if you have no certificate for the annual service, you are not able to sail. And I wish in the future that the land system will be maintenance and the service like the marine system. And I think it's a huge lack in the land system. What is your approach to this?
The marine systems are much more regulated, and you have to have a certificate to be allowed to sail, and IMO is setting the rules for what you can do and what you can't do.
Correct.
And everyone has to comply. For the land-based, it's much more difficult, because you don't have one organization that can say we want it like this, and you're not allowed to use your home or your office or the building
Yes.
until you comply with these regulations. Because there are the fire department, you have the authorities, you have insurance, you have all sort of people involved. So land-based is much more complex system.
And then the last question, Are, let me know how it looks, the work in the laboratory, on how the life changed.
Working at RISE, at the fire laboratory, we were specialized in fire testing, of course. But moving to the university, I'm now in charge of 16 different laboratories.
Okay.
And none of them are fire laboratory. So I have a snow laboratory, I have asphalt laboratory, I have building laboratory, I have all sorts of geotechnical laboratories.
Understood.
So it's a much wider range of laboratories I'm working with now. So it's been a huge learning curve for me as well.
Yeah.
I'm no longer as involved in the practical work as I used to be.
Yeah.
So I'm much more in management and just making sure that everything is going smoothly and correctly.
Sure.
So it was a big change.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the university is government organization, and the laboratory, the fire laboratory, is more commercial. So it's a different approach as well. So
you miss little fire in your work?
Definitely.
Okay, I feel you are feeling here like the fish in the water in this enclosure.
Yeah.
It was like good memories. I think spent.
A lot of good memories. It's a reason why I spent 25 years in the fire laboratory before I changed. So
that's impressive. We try to do our best to follow all this great job which you did for the full-scale fire testing especially. So thank you very much again to be here because you are the part of the Scientific Council, my colleague from the Scientific Council at INWMA. It's a pleasure to meet with the teammates here. Always are very welcome, and hopefully we should have much more meetings together because there is a great ideas just to develop inside this organization as well. Yep. Small gift for you. So you have the magnet from the Gdańsk already with the laboratory, so it's great. Thank you very much, Are. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you very much to listen us, and hopefully this will be one part of some good series from the laboratory. If you are interested in the full-scale fire tests, we will continue this. So stay in touch. Bye. Okay, so hopefully this discussion was great for you. I just take a few takeout notes from this, what we discussed with RM. So for sure, the first one, which always we are just trying to let our customers when arriving to the high accredited laboratory for the testing of their system, do your homework. We are happy to support you with the material for the testing, but run some internal tests in your facility if you have such. So we are happy to provide this just to make the fire test in the accredited laboratory on the time where your system is already validated on your side. So this is the very important part. And the second one is do not believe in all this what is happening in the television as a true. There are the accredited laboratory which are running the tests, like we discussed about the car park fires, about the EV fires. This what we see in our laboratory is not exactly this what you can see in the television about the RoRo fires. So there must be some trust to the accredited laboratory with this what they are doing, and try to get this information. Just drop me an email. We are happy with our team to support you with the knowledge. Luckily, we have the access to all the standardization bodies which are working around the water mist, sprinkler, and the gas extinguishing system. So we have very good information about that. And then what I learned after the 3 years here as a managing person for this facility, and we arrive currently to the highest accredited laboratory for the water mists, having like the 51 test methods. And we arrive as well to the different problems. So from this year, we would like to stay as a silent hero. We do not want to do the marketing anymore. We know our brand, we know our value, we know our friends in the industry, but we know that the industry is not easy. So we would like to work with the companies which we are able to trust, the companies which trust us as well. There are the big players in this market. We are the young laboratory which trying to bring a high accreditation for this facility, having IMA accreditation, US Coast Guard acceptance. We are running the tests with the UL solutions as well. So I believe after the 3 years already, we just justified that there is something unique here, and we would like to be a silent hero because we already face some problems, and we would like to be as much as possible good, but we would like to. No, we do not want to. We do not want to say that we would like to. We expect the respect to the Baltic Fire Laboratory team, and this what is happening here, because the accreditation ISO 17025 is a way to go. And if you are running in the ISO 17025 laboratory the test methods where the test procedure is not public available, you are issuing the test reports that you have no access how it was tested, it's not exactly possible to understand what is happening there. That's why we are involved in the standardization body. We would like to create the standards which are available for all. There are not question marks how the system is tested. So believe in the accreditation, and then on the end, we care the most for the success of our customer, which is the success of this facility. So we are providing the highest accreditation on the test reports for your product, which can reach the worldwide success. Hopefully it was one of the test series from the inside the active fire laboratory. We will continue this with the leaders in this fire protection business, just to present those people who are working in such dirty conditions, which are not visible in the commercial data sheets of the companies, but those are the really silent heroes, which are trying to test the system to the maximum to save your lives in case of the fire. Stay in touch, and we will provide a very good know-how from this, what we are doing here for the public. Thank you very much. Stay in touch.